I'm back. It's part two of the cult of personality, and I make the case against Trump, man, from well-documented public information already. So, like I was saying, I can't even imagine what Mueller has. I think I said Mueller. I'm half tilted. Anyway, I know what my conservative friends are saying.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
But no, like I said, this ain't opinion. The examples I give you will fit any legal definition of obstruction of justice. Even though it's really not a legal definition, I think I screwed up and said earlier obstruction of justice is collusion. But collusion somehow is not a crime. I don't know how. Unless the person, it's a bribe, it comes to the emoluments clause. Little cotton mouth. Whistle. Anyway, the deal is, if you give something to an opponent that helps an opponent out financially in some way, that's how collusion becomes treasonous or espionage. You break the emoluments clause. You got to prove that they not only financially benefited, but it has a tangible price to it. You can put a price tag on it. You know what I mean? You can attach a price to it. That's why you can say intel opposition research would break those laws too. If the Russians give him shit that they paid for, or somebody else from a foreign entity, country, whatever, pay for some opposition research and give it to him, a foreign government, a non-American entity would say, that would break the law. But we'll get back to it. We'll get back to the Russians real quick. Then we'll have a little joke, because I want to show y'all, and this is for if I have any liberal friends that have hung out this long to make it to segment 2, because usually I'm a little bit more animated, but like I said, I'm leaning to the left tonight, trying to take it easy, trying to be mellow. I'm not trying to Alex Jones this shit. I'm trying to Roni this shit, man. Anyway, back to it. I was telling you about the Russians. That's where I ended up the last segment. Felix Sater. And let me explain one thing. People who don't understand, and I've been reading on this shit hardcore for over a year now. And I've been watching crime documentaries and Russian mob documentaries forever. I've seen them all. And you got to understand, I've studied Putin way before Trump. You got to understand that Russia's weird. Their country's so corrupted. It's so mobbed up that they're all in one and the same. The politicians are mobsters. The mobsters are politicians. The billionaires, the oligarchs, they're mobsters because they got put on by Putin. Putin decides who gets to be a billionaire. Kodashevsky, who's a dude used to be the richest man in Russia, right? He owned all the oil and gas companies. He's the one that spoke out openly on TV about how corrupt it was, and you got to bribe. And when you bribe, you pay protection to a Russian mafia syndicate. They call it putting a roof over your building. They call it, having a roof, because that roof protects you. And so everybody's got, if you have any kind of business, you got to pay to have a roof. Everybody. But what I'm trying to tell you is that they're all one and the same. The gangsters or the politicians or the spies, they're all the same in Russia, right? Quick history of Putin, if y'all folks didn't know. Putin used to be the vice mayor of St. Petersburg, right? So, what happens? He's the one that handles all the foreign business. Any kind of foreign business investment, or anybody that's going to, foreign entities, franchises, whatnot, any kind of foreign business. You had to go see him. Well, you had to bribe that dude to get your foot in the door, right? Somehow he goes from that to the head of what now was the KGB, FSB, the former KGB, right? And then when all that shit goes down with Yeltsin, and Gorbachev and Yeltsin, and drunken Yeltsin seizes power because the people take to the streets, right? If y'all were, this is a quick history lesson for the folks who don't know, off the top of my head. Anyway, Putin somehow goes from a vice mayor, way past mayor, to the head of the intelligence services, and then he goes right under Yeltsin. And they say the reason he accelerated so fast is because he like Hoover, like who used to back in, excuse me, with the FBI, he's got dirt on everybody, man. He blackmailed his way to the top. And then, of course, when Yeltsin stepped down because he's a flaming, he's a falling down drunk, man, and when he was done, of course, somehow they said Putin went and met with him because he was going to name another cat that Putin strong-armed him, put the lean on him, put the brace, put the pressure on drunken-ass old Boris. And old Boris folded like a Chinese lawn chair and give it to Putin. Putin became the leader. He's been the leader ever since. Right? That's been a long fucking time, man. When it seems like Yeltsin had to be in the 90s, so it's been a long ass time. So that's what y'all's got. That's what people don't understand unless you study that shit. The island cats are the same over there, man. Putin picks who gets to be billionaires, right? All the cats who have fled, the billionaires who fled, or the dissidents who fled, you see what Putin does to them. He poisons them. He kills them. You know what I mean? They die. You know what I mean? Or he leaves them like he did Kolashevsky. He put that dude in jail for like 7 years, man, and took all his money. Made up some trumped up charges, passed a law. This is what's crazy. He passed a law against this cat to say he broke this law. He passed a law to say this dude broke the law before the law even existed. To keep this dude and give him more years in the penitentiary. So my dude was already Kolashevsky was already in jail. I think his name's Mikhail Kolashevsky. Anyway, it's a documentary about him on Netflix. It's awesome. Anyway, when dude was in jail, Putin couldn't get no money out of him. Dude wouldn't give up his shit. So Putin strong-armed him by saying he didn't pay taxes, this insane amount of tax bill. He laid this insane tax bill on him. And then he passed laws that didn't exist at the time that made dude's previous legal behavior illegal so he could put more time on him. And then he cut a deal with dude, basically down the road 7-8 years for nothing, for just openly saying, I'm tired of paying bribes and shit. This shit's too corrupt. On television and a round table with Putin and major business leaders. He goes and does 7-8 years for this shit. They cut a deal, let him go, and now he's in exile, right? Like a lot of them, I don't think he's in London like most of them. But what I'm trying to tell you is, that's what people don't understand. It's all one and the same over there, man. So Felix Sater is connected all the way to the top. In this Felix Sater day, you'll keep hearing his name. He's already been quoted as saying that once they call me and I start telling what I tell, we're all going to jail. He said that to many people openly. It's known, right? Felix Sater, convicted Russian mobster. He works with, what's that dude? That's Smiglioff. I forget his name, but he's like the most wanted, feared mobster in the world. Richest, biggest mobster in the world. He can't even leave Russia because Interpol has warrants on him. As soon as he steps outside of Russia, they're going to arrest the shit out of him and give him 1 million years, right? But Putin protects him because they're all in cahoots together. But back to it. So Felix Sater, he's been convicted here in the United States for running a Russian mob stocks fraud. So he's a convicted fraudster. Not only that, but Trump and him, Trump let him work for him. He was Trump's middleman between him and the Russian mob. He was the conduit. This Felix Sater cat, he had an office, he had cards. You could go look up cards. You could go look up Felix Sater, Sater. And this dude worked for Trump, had an office with Trump, worked for the Trump organization, had cards. He was the middleman for all these Russian mobsters who were coming and buying Trump property to wash their money, right? Because the Russians got the jump on everybody, the Italian mafia and everybody else when it comes to financial crimes and being super sophisticated and high tech. The Russian mob blows everybody away, man. Their financial crimes and white collar crimes are next level. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no bullshit pump and dump, penny stock, or no bullshit like that. These cats are slick. So they'll take your illegal gun games, come buy Trump property at an exorbitant rate, price. Then they'll get a loan equal to or more than the property, and they'll just take the loan money and fucking vamoose. There's been over 100 Russian mobsters that's bought property from Trump. There's that one cat who's some kind of tin metal king, the aluminum king of Russia or whatever, who bought that $45 billion house down the road from Mar-a-Lago, paid twice what it was worth during the housing, after the housing bubble popped, where the housing market was in the shitter. Dude paid $90 million for a $45 million house and then leveled it with a bulldozer. Just leveled it. Somebody was paid crazy money. But he got loans against it back too. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's why because Trump, you got to understand, when Trump went broke, folks, when he went bankrupt that last time on his casinos, all this shit, Taj Mahal, all that shit, Atlantic City, when he over leveraged himself to the hilt, you know what I mean? He couldn't make his balloon payments and he folded up like a lawn chair. I've already used that lame metaphor. He folded like a cheap blanket. Anyway, this cat couldn't get American backing no more because he stiffed. I forget what American Bank it was. He stiffed them for billions of dollars of loans. So American banks weren't trying to finance this cat no more. Nobody were in the legitimate finance world. So he had to go to Russia. And Don Jr. said this. There's a video you can look for on YouTube or Google where Don Jr. says they got plenty of money. They've been getting all their investment money, all their investment capital from Russia since the 90s, early 90s. So this is a long history. And that's what I'm trying to explain to folks who really don't keep up with it, but who love Trump because he says it like it is, or he's a straight talker, or whatever the bullshit as the folks use nowadays to praise Trump. When he ain't a straight talker, he's a loose cannon who's totally inexperienced, incompetent, and corrupt morally and ethically. You know what I mean? Come on now. He's a cartoon character. He's a character, but he's a character of the old Trump. But back to it. Russian mob, they washed their money. He got their financing from the Russian mob. They're all the same, like I said. So if you know Russian mobsters, you know you can get all the way to Putin. Putin can get all the way to you, vice versa. Because they're all in cahoots together. That's just how it goes down. That's just how corrupt Russia is. You know what I mean? This ain't my opinion. This is well documented for decades. For years and years. So, that's the relationship. But then you got Cambridge Analytica, this new shit, right? And they're the ones who work with the Russian Internet Research Agency, which is just a title for their Department of Hackers. That's the Department of Russian Hackers. They call it the Internet Research Agency. It's just all their government hackers. You know what I mean? That's who controls the bots, the trolls. You know what I mean? That's who done all the cyber warfare and meddled in the election. And Cambridge Analytica and them, I guarantee you we're going to find out they were in cahoots together. They were working cahoots together in 2014. The CEO just got suspended after sending an email calling a potential black client a nigger. And then after bragging in an undercover video from Channel 4, Sky 4 News, whatever, in Great Britain, that he's bribed politicians for years and blackmailed them for years. And one of his favorite tricks is getting them Russian hookers. That he's in cahoots with all these Russians, right? That company's owned by the Mercer family, coincidentally. See how they all connect? And this ain't some crazy, like I said, Alex Jones conspiracy. This is known shit. You can go read up. You know what I mean? I'm not saying they're lizard people or no wacky shit like that, man. Or it's no global triumvirate, or it's, Committee on Foreign Affairs or Bilderbergers or any of that, any of that nutty shit. I'm not even touching it. This is not a conspiracy. This is well known. You can go read it. Anybody can Google it. Message me. I'll give you a reading list. Anyway. So they're all connected. But anyway, Cambridge Analytica is the ones who figured out this was genius. This is how Trump beat the system. Because here's another little political science lesson for cats who don't know. That the Electoral College was invented to prevent dudes like Trump, a demagogue, from sweeping up in a populist movement and becoming president. All right? Just winning the popular vote and becoming president. And just a couple of big states vote for this cat. So he gets so much the popular vote, he would win. So that's why we invented the Electoral College, to balance out the popular vote, to stop a demagogue from a couple of states, big states, huge states, with all the people in them, backing one dude and going against the majority of all the rest of the states, beating the rest of, the majority of the rest of the states. But they gained it, which is, I had to give him as an evil genius. Cambridge Analytica went and figured out all the way down to the exact counties Trump had to win, the exact counties in every state Trump had to win the Electoral College And that's exactly what they did. He won by 77,000 votes in just a handful of counties in, like I said, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan, right? But the trolls, the Russian trolls, the bots, all that shit, the disinformation focused on these handful of counties, right? So how did the Russians, hackers, the Internet Research Agency, they're hackers who controlled all the cutouts for the trolls and bots, know to focus on these handful of select counties in Northern America? You know what I mean? They wouldn't have that information. Only way they could get that information is from Cambridge Analytica, in which they did. And Cambridge Analytica also, the reason they're having the big scandal right now is because they had that 250 million, or whatever it was, user information from Facebook that they were supposed to use and delete. They didn't delete it. They broke Facebook's rules in terms of agreement, and they didn't delete it. They held it, hoarded it, and then they made sure it got out there. And I guarantee you, they made sure it got to the Russians. I guarantee you. I tell you, I know how the dark shit on the internet goes, man. I don't want to say how, but trust me, I know. Trust me. So that's how they're all connected. See, that's the Mercers. The Mercers swept up and give Trump Breitbart. At the time was the biggest right-wing media source there was, alt-right source there was. Media source there was. They gave him Cambridge Analytica, who figured it out to the county and told the Russians where to direct and zero in their attacks, their disinformation, to swing voters and to sway minds, and it worked. And that's how it happened. And Trump knows it, and Trump knew the hackers were working for him. That's why he openly told them. Now, this is speculation on my part, but it's not that big of a leap, especially for folks who believe in Trump. If you believe in Trump, this ain't a leap of logic at all, or a big jump to a conclusion. That if the Mercers got behind Trump, they give him everything. Like I said, the media, right, to pump him up. Then the Russians, they got the Russians through Cambridge Analytica, the company owned, to zero in on the exact counties he needed to win and to pump disinformation and sway minds. So that is collusion. And that's collusion of the worst kind, to put a illegitimate president in office that you can control. And look, to a degree, Trump might even not know how well he's been played and how much he's owned. You know what I mean? He might be, he's probably so arrogant, he's so arrogant and delusional, he might believe he's running shit. That's how much he might be a dupe. That's how duped he might be. They got him so conned that he don't even know he's conned, that this dude thinks he's really running shit. You know what I mean? That it don't mean nothing. That Vladimir and him got him don't mean nothing no more, because he's he's the most powerful man in the world now. That he'll kick their ass, that type of machismo bullshit, right? But that's what I'm saying. But Trump's definitely compromised, being compromised. Everybody in his cabinet's being compromised. You know what I mean? Come on now. Flynn, Papadopoulos, his campaign chairman, his assistant vice campaign chairman. And that's just what we know. We can keep going. There's going to be more heads that roll. I'm sure Jeff Sessions and Pence are in. I'm sure they're dirty. Pence has got to know. They can't keep him totally in the dark. But like I said, that's what I'm trying to tell that's what I'm trying to tell people, explain to you folks, that he's already broken the law. He's already broken the law and obstructed justice. And that's just what we know, is open to the public. Mueller knows so much more than we do. He's got everything in on him. Remember, Trump said if he started investigating his finances, that was the red line he couldn't cross. If they'd done that shit, he would fire him. Well, we know he just subpoenaed all his Trump Organization records and his finances last week. Trump ain't firing shit. You know what I mean? Trump wants to fire him. Trump still might fire him, but as soon as he does, that will be the immediate end to Trump, the era of Trump. I promise you. That will be one step too far, I believe, that even the Republicans won't stand for it. Because at some point, there's got to be a breaking point, a tipping point. I don't know where. It's amazing because the Republicans have completely sold every ethic and moral they've ever had or said they stood for out down the river to push their agenda, to get their agenda passed. They know Trump. They know Trump probably colluded with the Russians. That's what's sad. They know Trump's compromised. They know he's ethically and morally bankrupt. They know he's a pathological liar and he's mentally unstable. They know he's incompetent and inexperienced. They know all that shit. But they don't care because it's their guy. It's that tribalism shit. It's our guy. He's on our team. He'll get our shit done for us. And if you don't believe me, just look at the couple times he just mentioned off the cuff and bucked the NRA or bucked the right-wing agenda, the Republican agenda. Republicans and the NRA freaked out. Then he'd have to walk that shit back a couple of days later. They had to get him back on the script. And that's just how it is. They're willing to do anything to get their agenda passed because the folks who bankroll their campaigns are the richest folks in America. They're the billionaires, the oligarchs. So they got to kowtow and bow down to the folks paying their way, man, and lining their pockets and bankrolling their campaigns. You know, that's a deeper subject we'll get on another time because that's that Citizens United shit. Why lobbying should be banned and why they should repeal Citizens United and make all kind of other campaign reform laws. That would fix 90% of our government's problems, a solid 80%. If we just said fuck everything and done campaign finance reform, reversed and repealed fucking Citizens United ruling, and banned lobbying, it would be a 180-degree turn. It would be jaw-dropping. Jaw-dropping. The change we would get, the representation we would get, you know what I mean? They would finally start looking out for the little guy's interest because they are not beholden to these big money players who bankroll their campaigns no more. Once you take money out, you stop money from corrupting it. But that's a tangent. I'm going to get up there. But now I'm going to show you, I don't understand how you folks on the right or my buddies on the left, I don't know if you've listened to a bunch of Alex Jones, but let me tell you something. These cats on the right that blow my mind. That these folks believe folks like Alex Jones, but they will call Brian Williams or some legitimate dude that's been doing nightly news for 20 years on one of the major networks, fake news, fucking bullshit. You know what I mean? It blows my mind, but they'll turn around and listen to Alex Jones. I remember I was getting online back in the 90s when you could first dial up. I'm old school, OG way back. I remember when Alex Jones first hit the net. His first little YouTube video was him going in and refusing to get a driver's license or some shit at the DMV in Austin, Texas, where he's from. And then he made a big stake and they arrested him and he made a big stake and he started getting people behind him and that's when he started making money. And the more money he made, the crazier the conspiracies. Then he started selling vitamins and bullshit and snake oil. You know what I mean? And all this other bullshit he sells on his website now. You know what I'm saying? But the more money he made, at first he was just a lone kook that a few other kooks got behind him and he saw he could make a buck out of this shit by playing into the same fears that Donald Trump played into. You know what I mean? The scared white guy who thinks the government's out to get him. That, you know what I mean? The black man's taking everything from him. Immigrants taking everything from him. You know what I mean? All these crazy conspiracies. You know, and people take him as real news now. This dude's got interviews with Trump. And you got people like this, these cats, Breitbart, who not even, Breitbart's as bad technically as I don't believe it's a legit news source. Technically it's more legit than 90% of them. The folks on the right watch and believe, man. And if you listen to me, and I'm hoping by now I got some of my conservative buddies still sticking to because this is who I made this one for. This is for the guys on the other side of the aisle, man. Like I said, man, I'm just trying to tell you my point of view, not trying to argue with you, not trying to call you names. I'm just trying to explain to you why I believe the way I do, and I can prove it. You see what I'm saying? That's the difference. Y'all just say it because y'all heard it, or somebody told it, or y'all saw it on some right-wing, alt-wing news source. You've done no research or nothing, man. That's why. That's why I know, because I've done the homework, man. That's all I'm asking y'all to do is do the homework. Don't follow the pack. Don't be so tribal. That's the whole point of this. But now, like I said, Alex Jones, and I never listened to that guy. You know what I mean? Really? I'm listening. You know, I watched all of Joe Rogan's podcasts. Joe Rogan's had him on there and got him stoned. He was drunk one time and it was hilarious. He said some crazy shit that got him in trouble when he got a divorce from his wife. And then for all of you Alex Jones fans out there, in that same divorce court. He said under oath that he don't even believe the shit he says. He does a character just to make money for his family. So if you believe all Alex Jones bullshit, you're believing shit that he don't even believe. See, that's what I'm saying. Don't be a mark. Don't be a rude, man. Don't be a rude. Don't be a follower. Back to it. So I don't listen to Alex Jones. But I don't understand how people can believe it, because I tried to listen to some of it, but I went and get the soundboard where he's got rants on it. And this nutty shit he says, and for my liberal friends who listen, get ready, kick back, put it in the air, because you're going to laugh at this rant. There's several rants he says, and then, it's a soundboard, so you got some of these classic Alex Jones one-liners.
You're a flaming fascist.
Or this one.
Shut your murderous fat mouth.
Or this one.
Control freak.
But they got rants on there. And these rants are insane, man. This shit is hilarious. Now, we all know who, and I'm going to play one real quick just for shits and giggles, just to lighten the mood. Well, we all know that Warren Buffett is the grandfatherly, the sage billionaire, the sage of Omaha, with the second, third richest dude in the world now. Now it's Bezos, then Gates, so I guess he's third or fourth, right? He's worth $80 billion, I don't know why, right? We all know who Warren Buffett is. Nice dude, fair, one of the most ethical businessmen we know. He made his billions legit on his own from nothing, unlike Trump. He didn't get no big loan or no shit like that. He made it from nothing. His company, Berkshire Hathaway. Anyway, made himself the third, fourth richest dude in the world. Off, I think, $1,000 loan from his wife or something, $1,000. Anyway, we know he's a nice, legit, grandfatherly, lovable cat. Now, listen to this rant by Alex Jones about Warren Buffett. And how not only just listen to this shit, and then we'll laugh and chuckle at the end of it.
And in almost every photo op, he eats an ice cream. Oh, look, I'm a harmless old man. I wonder could you walk in a bank with a machine gun and say, put all the money in the bag or you're dead, but have an ice cream cone? And then if you were licking it, it would make it okay? I think it probably would. If the cops showed up and said, come out, and they had the bullhorn, come out and we're going to fire tear gas, and you just go, ice cream cone. And just like in Raiders of the Lost Ark, the first one, when he's running through the jungle, and the bad guy gets the idol and holds it up to the natives, and they all bow down. You just hold up an ice cream cone, or hold up a puppy, or say you're liberal, or call someone racist, or have Obama be supposedly half black, and so it's okay.
It's okay.
And he's half black, so you got to let him do whatever he wants. I'm not joking about Warren Buffett. Type in Warren Buffett into Google, click images. Most of them are him eating an ice cream cone. Hundreds of photos. In fact, it's worse than that. It's got to be thousands. I've done a whole report on 2 years. Just showing thousands of the photos, whole screenshots of just full pages of the photos of him with ice cream cones. I mean, this is a complete joke, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, if Hitler wore a pink uniform and ate ice cream cones constantly, we would all be speaking German right now. I'm serious. I'm serious. That's why they act like liberals and prance around like, liberal. There's nothing liberal about them. They're savage beasts. Savage, rapacious, piratical enemies.
Now, first of all, let's just dissect the shit. First of all, laugh. You should be laughing. If you're not laughing, something's wrong with you, because that's some hilarious shit. First of all, this dude took grandfatherly, lovable Warren Buffett, harmless ass billionaire Warren Buffett, the friendliest, nicest billionaire. Not only that, he's giving all his money, unlike Trump, who's been voted the least charitable billionaire, I forget how many years in a row now. Buffett's giving all his money away when he dies. All his money. He's not giving it to his kids or nothing. He's giving it all away to charity. That's how nice a dude this cat is, right? But he's eating ice cream. There's got to be something ice cream. Alex Jones is such a kooky asshole. This fucker don't even like ice cream. What kind of asshole don't like ice cream, man? Dude's saying ice cream's evil. These folks eating ice cream and wearing pink. And if Hitler wore pink and ate ice cream, we'd all be speaking German. And if you don't believe me, look at Warren Buffett. He's eating all this ice cream. There's 1,000 pictures on Google image search of him eating ice cream. You know what I mean? It's all these soft-ass liberals, you know what I mean, eating ice cream and trying to tell you they're saving the world. But really, they're the fucking enemy. They're savages. They're monsters. They're animals. That's basically what he's saying. At the end, he calls liberals, savages, the enemy, animals, rapacious. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. That's the problem with this country. That's why we're divided, because folks listen to assholes like this shit, and they have biases. Let me tell you something, folks. That's how conspiracy theories work. They already play into the preconceived biases you already have, right? So if you're racist, the conspiracies you're going to like are going to be racially tinged, or they're going to, you know what I mean? If you think fucking the Jews, or money, rich people own this, or devil worshippers, they're going to put rich people, devil worshippers in it. They're going to play to your preconceived notions of bias, man. That's how conspiracy theories work. I hate to break it down to you, but I'm sure most of you, I'm hoping a lot of you folks know, but for the folks who don't, that's why they're so believable, and you buy them, you know what I mean, so easily. But they're bullshit, man. Just like flat earth, that's what's sad. We live in the information age now. I say this shit all the time. We have more information at our fingertips than at any moment in the history of mankind. I'm talking about more information than we can read in thousands of lifetimes, right? Just think of Einstein or Tesla or Edison or great mind Archimedes or anybody, Michelangelo, Galileo, anybody, any of those great minds would have had just a smartphone and Google. You know what I mean? And all that, just think how much more advanced we would be and how much more intelligent they would be. You know what I mean? You're handing Einstein on steroids. You know what I'm saying? With a searchable database. That's what I'm saying. So just imagine we have that much information, but yet we live in an era where people refuse to read or learn. It's mind blowing. They refuse to even try to learn the information or read information. It's all the information you want to learn about anything. Legit information. Instead, they want to follow the crowd and buy into racism or bullshit conspiracies. I don't get it, y'all. I know they're exciting, but let me tell you something. From my experience, it's usually exactly what it seems. You know what I mean? Before you buy into conspiracies. Because all those conspiracies you've heard in your lifetime, how many have ever been proven to be true? Exactly. 1 to none, probably, right? But you listen to cats like Alex Jones, and he tells you that people that are maybe a little more liberal than you, or think a little different on a certain subject than you, are your fucking enemy. They're animals. They're savages. They're trying to kill you. Not fellow Americans who just happen to disagree, but they're the enemy. Bloodthirsty enemy. Traitors to America and all that other shit he says. You know what I'm saying? Threats to the democracy, the republic. Our enemies, savages, animals looking to kill you and your kids, turn them in, molest them, turn them into devil worshippers, have them wearing pink and whistling fucking in German and skipping and worshiping Hitler and all that other nut shit he says. That's the problem. You got folks on the right saying this shit about just about everybody, and it's matriculated down because now the media is profitable because Reagan did away with the fairness. The fairness and media act or doctrine or whatever it was. The fairness and media doctrine. I believe. I'm probably off. I'm a little stoned. Anyway, so now it become profitable instead of becoming a public service. So it's matriculated down to main, which this was hilarious also about Fox News. Fox News calls anybody who's not Fox News or to the right of them mainstream media. But Fox News is the most watched news channel in America. It can't get more mainstream than that. So how do Fox News got you believing that they're not mainstream when they by the very definition of mainstream, they're mainstream, right? Mainstream means everybody. It's the majority, right? It's down the middle. It's the main demographic or main part of the population. And how you want to slice it? Chop it up, flip it, rub it down. Oh no. You know what I'm saying. There's mainstream as it gets, but they have y'all believing, them cats got y'all so deep, they have y'all believing that everybody else who don't agree with them or to the right of them isn't the mainstream media, who all are liberal, controlled by what they call globalists, which is a code word for Jews. The same old Jew, globalist, media-owned conspiracy, whatnot. It's not like that anymore, man. It's too diverse because of greed and capitalism. All these corporations aren't one man, they're owned by some kind of Jewish cabal anymore. It's the shareholders, it's all these folks, it's cats who got 401ks. But anyway, like I said, I've made the case for Trump. You can check all this shit out with the Russians. So Felix Sater, he's laundered money. That's right. They guarantee he's been money laundering schemes, right? He's probably evaded taxes. That's probably why he didn't want his tax returns to come out or to show that he ain't paid taxes in forever. But that's here nor there no more. That compared to this shit he's done or is about to be exposed for, in my opinion, from what I read, and logic, critical thinking, common sense, the shit that's worked to get us to this point in history right now. You know, learning, reading, research, critical thinking, you know, questioning, you know what I mean? That type of shit that's got us to advance this far, it's just the beginning of man. That's what I've used to come to my conclusions and my assumptions. Not because fucking Sean Hannity what's his name, Sucker, that's what they did call him, Sucker Carlson, spewing some racist rhetoric, bullshit, you know, scapegoating, because that's what they're doing. They got to scapegoat. They got to find the enemy. That's how they keep us divided. And this ain't no conspiracy. They want to keep us divided. They want to bust unions so they can control us. Our government's been bought and paid for. That's not crazy. That's the truth. Look at what we got in office right now. Look how he got there. Look how much it cost to run for president now. $1 billion fucking dollars. The forefathers didn't intend to cost $1 billion to run for president, or millions to run for a senator, or a million or two to run for a state office, or $500,000, whatever it is. They expected anybody who was a decent character, who's ethical, who wanted to do something, be a good citizen, who wanted to help out the country, make us better, to improve our conditions, to run for office. Not just the rich, who's the handmaiden of the rich, or in the pocket of the rich. You know what I mean? But anybody should be able to run for office. It's not that way anymore. It's because money corrupts all. Money corrupts our government. Like I said, it always comes back to money. Campaign finance reform. I know it's like the third, fourth time I went back to it. But that's because that's where all this shit stems from, man. But that's how we got Trump in office. Because of a populist movement. And they schemed the Electoral College. You go look this up, man. This, like I said, this is not... I wish I had that, which I probably do if I ate a bunch of acid or something. I could probably imagine some crazy shit. Alex Jones type conspiracy. And I'm talking about Alex Jones now is almost mainstream compared to some of the shit you hear. That Cernovic dude or whatever on Twitter with the Pizzagate shit. They're molesting kids. And dude shows up at the pizzeria in New York, shoots the fucking place up because he believes a conspiracy theory about John Podesta and him molesting kids at a fucking family pizzeria. That's insane. People believe this shit, man. I got buddies on Facebook who got mad when I proved them wrong or tried to explain to them they were wrong or show them the facts. You know what I mean? They're child molesters. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm not a Hillary fan. But by no means is she a child molester, man. Come on, get the fuck out of here, man. Yeah, it's not that evil. Life's not that fucking exciting. That's some movie shit, man. Leave that shit for fiction. You know what I mean? Because it is fiction. So leave it for the real fiction writers, the screenwriters, the novelists. But like I said, so I've proven. And look, when I start doing my new shit, I get my shit together here in the next month or so. I get all my shit lined up and I start doing the live stream and I get all my new software kicking and all that. I'm going to do a lot of shit. I'm going to do different podcasts. I'm going to do some sports and shit because at this point, man, I'm so fatigued. I have so much political fatigue from Trump. It's hard having to fucking fact check because I feel compelled to fact check just to do my part, just to help out a little bit, even though I'm sure it don't work. These cats who just post these fictional I'm talking about these outlandish memes and bullshit fucking websites, these quasi-news websites, man. You know what I mean? And they always say dumb shit. They use the word patriot or conservative in them. Patriot, conservative America, tribunal or tribune or be some bullshit like that. And it's one dude who's creating fake news articles for clickbait to make money, right? Because that's what's really going on. They write the crazy shit so suckers will click on it so they make a buck. And then it's become a contest who can write the craziest clickbait bullshit. But like I said, I'm about to run out of time again. This is segment 2. So, like I said, I've showed you how Cambridge Analytica, and besides now, by the way, a little footnote on that, there's a report out, I think, from the New York Times just here in the past day or two that said Steve Bannon was working with Cambridge Analytica and the Russians in 2014. So, There you go. That's what I'm saying, man. Steve Bannon was the one who took over Breitbart, so he's in with the Mercers too. So that shows you how, far to the right the Mercer family is. When they're the ones who bankrolled Breitbart, and look, Andrew Breitbart was a conservative, was pretty hard right. The dude that founded the website, he dropped dead of a heart attack when he was 40. I believe karma probably just shut his heart down. Karma did, and it has to be. Anyway, the founder of the website, he was liberal compared to fucking Bannon. That's what I'm saying. So if you're here, how about this? We'll just look at it like this. Even though I know most of you cats who voted for him are Christian, even though somehow you forgot everything you've ever learned about Jesus from the Bible, or you wouldn't support a dude like Donald Trump because it goes against everything Jesus in the Bible says, and I don't care who you are. I don't care if the Pope said different. I'd call him a liar because I can read, I can comprehend English. You know what I mean? I've read the Bible. I know what Jesus allegedly stood for, said he stood for, or demonstrated in the Bible he stood for, right? And it's the total opposite of the modern Republican Party, the values of Trump, the Republican Party, and the people who vote for him now. Because, right, conservatives back in child molesters, Roy Moore, or any kook. Look, y'all get mad because it's like that. They come up with conspiracies that vaccinations don't work. Even though you learned in second grade how vaccinations don't work, when they took pus from smallpox and rubbed scabs and shit on other people with smallpox, and you built up an immunity. Your immune system would build up an immunity to the smallpox. We all learned about that shit like second or third grade. It's basic science. But now all of a sudden these folks in the age, that's what blows my mind, like I said, in the age of information, or so, just dismiss science we know for a fact. We learned in second grades, and it's not even hard science. It don't even involve math. You can use pictures to explain it. Like the first time they used pus and a scab from fucking smallpox to prevent other people from getting smallpox, or whatever the pox was. I think it was smallpox. Anyway, basic. Now they're saying, these anti-vaxxers are saying vaccinations are poison, they'll kill you, or they'll give you autism, even though there's millions, mounds, and reams, and stacks, and mountains of evidence and data proven against it. And it goes against the basic principle of science that vaccinations are based on. You know what I mean? That we've proven ever since we've had them for the past couple hundred years. I forgot his name. It started with the T. That was it. Braille type TB or no. What's the dude's name? Anyway, I ain't gonna Google it. The dude that invented vaccination. When he Dutch or some shit, T or B, for some reason it pops in my mind. Anyway, on with it. And these folks are saying flat earthers are saying the earth is flat. When you can see the curve of the earth through a fucking telescope, man, or live or any pictures, it just blows my mind, man. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do this as a public service as my last ditch attempt to reach out to these folks with olive branch and try to explain my point of view. Like I said, prove me wrong, I dare you. You can't. And like I said, I'm gonna start having guests coming on and doing in-studio interviews, headphone interviews like I used to back in the day. I'm down to the last minute and a half of part 2. And I'm about through. But I'm just going to say, it's going to get better, I hope. If not, I'm going to have fun doing it. And now I got my own spot where I can do anything, so it'll be a whole lot more fun for me. Right? And I'm going to try to put a little bit more effort into it and do it right. And if you want to learn more about the cult personality, go learn about Jim Jones or that Wild Wild Country documentary series on Netflix right now. That's awesome. It's about the background Rajesh and his cult, his sex cult that was in Oregon in the 80s. That was something else that was huge when I was a kid. That's what, like I said at the beginning, that made me get interested in people like that, your cult leaders, cult of personality, was background Rajesh in Oregon, and then of course Jim Jones, and then as I got older, it was David Koresh, it was fucking L. Ron Hubbard, you know what I mean? And you start noticing all these, it's a real American thing almost to a point, all these cult leaders, cult of personality, man. So I'm out here on part 2, dig it,